15 years, blowing the doors off the competition. Podcasting to planet Earth.
PNRNetworks.com.
This podcast is a member of the Blueberry Network. Blueberry. No E's. That's Blueberry, BLUBRRY.com. Blueberry.com.
This podcast is a proud member of the Lamb Podcasting Network. Find the network at largeassmovieblogs.com.
Connecting to server. Connection confirmed. Connecting to website. Connection confirmed. Adjusting lights to preset level. Adjusting sound. Adjusting volume. Recording.
Real movies for real people. T.C. Kirkham and Kim Brown. Subject Cinema 2020.
Hey, all out there.
Hi.
Did you think we disappeared into the ether?
Nope.
Well, what's going to be an interesting discussion today. Welcome to Subject Cinema. I'm T.C. Kirkham.
Hi, I'm Kim Brown.
I don't know what episode this is. I haven't had time to look it up. Subject Cinema, number blah, blah, blah.
It's
Day and date, March 6, 2020.
It's episode purple.
We have missed the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, sorry.
Including our entire February festival stuff, which we will now be doing in April, if things go as planned. And this month is supposed to be Masochistic March. We're going to start that next week, March 15th, and we'll have 3 weeks of Masochistic March stuff in for you. But because of what's going on in the world, we decided that because it has had such a monstrous effect on what we cover, today is going to be about the elephant in the room. We're going to talk about the entertainment industry and the coronavirus. If you're freaked out about it, turn us off. If you're not, listen, because we're going to try and talk through some of the crazy stuff going on.
We're talking about what's going on. We're not offering any kind of medical advice or anything like that. Because unlike certain people on the internet, we don't pretend to know everything.
I'm going to say this up front. I am getting so sick of watching the two political parties tear each other apart on Twitter over the coronavirus. Not everything that Trump has said has been bad. Not everything that Trump has said has been good. Not everything the Democrats have said have been bad. Not everything the Democrats have said have been good. They both have their absolute ridiculousness online.
Yeah.
And I'm just fed up with it.
I just would have, if that sentence had been me, I would have just said, I'm so sick of the Democratic and Republican parties on Twitter sniping at each other. Period.
Well, that's true,
Not
too.
even over the coronavirus.
I'm
just
tired of politics.
In general.
I don't follow politics on Twitter. I follow movies, which means I unfortunately get a lot of political crap. I follow TV. More and more, I'm following wrestling again, and it's just...
I don't follow politics, period.
I've made a lot of comments. If you haven't watched this on Twitter,
me.
You need to come over and join in the conversation. We'd love to hear from you over there. I'm at eCinema 1. I'm doing all my stuff on eCinema 1 lately. Kim is at Platinum Roselle.
Yep.
And watch us, give us comments, respond to us. We want to hear from you out there. So, COVID, is it 19? Is that what the number is?
I think it is, yeah.
Started in China about 2 months ago. It is believed to have been transmitted to humans by an animal of some sort. Some think it's snakes. A couple think it's monkeys. And China just exploded with it. Particularly around the city of Wuhan, which there is a short film online. I'll have a link to it in the notes so you can check out what this giant city of 2 million people looks like under quarantine.
Yep.
it's an empty city.
It's very weird. It's like Life After People.
It is. It's very creepy, but it's also, they're making a full-length feature about it, and this gentleman that made the film is very talented. It reminded me a lot of Koyaanisqatsi.
Yeah, it definitely had a Koyaanisqatsi feel to it.
And it was an interesting look at it, and hopefully they hope to have that out before the end of the year, the full version, because they shot a lot of footage. They were over there originally to shoot another film, a narrative film. It spread to the United States about a month ago, and also to Europe. Europe is in deep throes in some places.
Italy's got a lot of cases.
France, France has had a lot. There have been pockets throughout the United States which have been small in some areas, explosive in some areas. Right now, the hot spots in the United States appear to be in the Seattle area, most because there were 9 deaths at a nursing home, all from people who had issues, elderly people at a nursing home in Kirkland, which is a suburb.
Right.
In fact, my aunt actually lived in Kirkland for a while. And a number of others have happened in different other parts of the country.
Yeah.
Now, the big problem with Corona is we don't know what it's going to do.
Right.
Everybody is out there giving the worst case scenarios, and I honestly think it's a bunch of paranoid bull in some aspects, because we have seen this before. Going back to 1976 and the swine flu, plus SARS, bird flu, a number of other things that were all going to be, the explosive influenza of the century, and none of them happened. Corona's been a little bit worse since then. Is it going to expand? I don't know. It's okay to be precautious, but don't be paranoid. That's the problem. It's turning into paranoia.
It is. The problem is one of the other big issues, and this is the thing that really bothers me, is when something bad happens, whatever it is, if it's a disease, if it's a natural disaster, if it's a terrorist attack or anything like that. Unfortunately, some people take whatever that is as an excuse to be the worst human beings they can be.
See Twitter and Facebook right now.
What I mean about that is there have been several very violent attacks on people. People being assaulted, people being beaten by people simply because they are Chinese. People, attacking them and, you brought the coronavirus here and blah, 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 and all this.
Almost everybody that brought it back to the States came from a Chinese vacation.
Right.
So
I
they should have known better than to do that.
But I was just saying, these are people who have never, I'm talking about people who have never even been to China.
Oh, I know.
Who happen to just simply be Chinese or whatever, and being physically assaulted by these Cro-Magnons that...
Which isn't going to help, by the way.
That's like people who attacked anyone who even remotely looked Arabic after 9/11.
Yeah, they did, including a poor gentleman in the South that was murdered, and he was Indian, not anything to do with...
So I guess my point is that, things are bad enough, things are chaotic, and things are crazy. You people who are out there who are prejudiced... I can't swear because it's Lent.
You're making it worse.
You're making it worse. Knock it off.
Yeah.
If you're that concerned about it, please put yourself in a basement. Trust me, no one's going to miss you.
Let's go over some of the major stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
Paramount, of course, delayed any movie theater openings in China. Sonic was scheduled to open there on February 28th. It did not do so. Mulan has been delayed indefinitely. Mulan is actually tailored for the Chinese audience in some ways. So that's something.
There's been
No Time to Die,
that,
James Bond film, has been postponed from April 2nd in U.S. and in UK, and April 10th in the U.S. has now been postponed to November 12th in the UK and November 25th in the U.S. The reason is because this is an international appeal film. And it also inadvertently is probably setting a record. I can't think of a Bond movie where the theme song came out way before it did, and Billie Eilish's "No Time to Die" is already in the top 20. It's like, wow, this is crazy.
Not to mention, this is something that I just thought of, which shows you how serious I'm taking this, because I never think of stuff like this.
Well, let's before we go any further, can you hold that for just a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Keep in mind, the reason we've been missing from this scene for the last 5 weeks is we have both been hella sick, not with corona, but with the general flu. We both came down with it despite flu shots.
Well, I don't know if we both got the flu. It was a very bad
and I've also
cold.
had a couple of acid reflux attacks.
It was a very bad cold.
That's why we have not been here.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about it later. What were you going to say?
What I was going to say is, I know a lot of people might be like, oh, well, why are they delaying it just because they can't run it in China? They could run it everywhere else, and that would be fine. Actually,
well, they are when it comes to Mulan. It still opens here.
But
on March 27th.
I'm specifically talking about the James Bond movie. Mm-hmm. They actually really couldn't, because if you think about it, let's say that they did do that. Let's say that they did say, okay, we're not going to run it in China, but we're going to run it everywhere else. Do you know what would happen?
Just for clarification, the James Bond thing's not being affected by China. It's being affected by the European outbreak.
Right.
Not the Chinese
All right,
outbreak.
I'm sorry.
It's the same idea.
Right. But let's just say we're going to run it here, here, and here, but we're not going to run it here because of this virus. Mm-hmm. And because we're worried. Do you know what's going to happen? You're going to have people pirating that movie everywhere over here and selling it to people over here.
Exactly.
And
that's why they did this.
Going, psst, hey, come here. I have
a James Bond movie in my coat.
Want a James Bond movie? Yeah. They would lose.
That is why they did this.
They would lose a beep ton of money. Yeah. And now, while that stuff usually doesn't interest or, to me, I'm like,
no, it's not an interest. It's just a fact of life. And since the stock market has been so volatile, which I think only partially has to do with the coronavirus, I think part of it has to do with a number of Republican Wall Street people being terrified of Bernie Sanders. And I mean, not all. I think it's a combination.
The stock market stuff was going like up, down, sideways before Corona hit America.
But it didn't lose almost 3,000 points in 3 days.
No, I know. No, that's true.
And that happened right after Bernie's major win and after Corona had hit.
Right. So what I'm saying is it was already starting. It was already starting to get wonky.
A lot of people are afraid of that, man.
Now it's really wonky.
Yeah. So anyway, let's go over some more stuff. Mm-hmm. CBS has temporarily shut down the production of Amazing Race, which is a worldwide thing.
Right.
They shoot all over the world.
Which makes sense.
The newest show is already finished and will air this summer, but they will not have any more. Likewise, ABC's The Bachelorette, which has a trip every year. This year they had booked to Italy. Italy is the hot spot in Europe right now, and it has been indefinitely canceled. They're going to find somewhere else for them to go. Mm-hmm. The Paramount Pictures had to delay filming of Mission Impossible 7, which was set to shoot in Venice. Venice is one of the hot spots, and if it continues to be, it could mean that the summer film festival is going to get film festival circuit is going to get reeked.
Right. We're
going to talk about that in a minute.
We'll talk about Cannes in a minute.
Yeah.
Well, that seems like an odd place to. Well, you know what that means. That definitely means one thing for the next Mission Impossible movie. If they're shooting it in Venice, that means there's going to be like some crazy, chasey scenes in the waterways and stuff like that. Because there's nothing really high in Venice for Tom Cruise to jump off of.
Well, it's going to be shot in several other places, too.
Yeah, that's
the man jumped off the Burj Khalifa, for Pete's sake. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, love you, Tom, but wow.
You and Jeff Hardy, you need to get together.
Oh, gosh.
BTS has canceled its tour in its home country of Korea. They're going to reschedule it for after the outbreak. They've had an outbreak there also. Mariah Carey also rescheduling her Hawaii concerts for her current tour because of travel restrictions. 2 huge festivals have been canceled. Mm-hmm. Miami's Ultra Music Festival, which was scheduled for next weekend, has been postponed. It is an EDM festival similar to Electric Daisy Carnival. Happens every year.
Can I ask a stupid question? Mm-hmm. Just real dumb question. Why does it seem like EDM concerts always have to happen in places where the weather is either super duper insanely hot or super duper insanely humid?
Because that's where their people combust the best.
It's just... Is it just me?
Yeah.
I mean, really? Like, have one in Bangor or something like that. You want to be really interesting. I mean, this...
I think...
An EDM
the
festival
most
in Maine.
devastating cancellation at this point, and one that is going to ripple through the entertainment industry, was the forced by the mayor's office cancellation of South by Southwest, which was also supposed to start next weekend. The first week of South by Southwest Film Festival, second week South by Southwest Music Festival. They are scrambling. South by Southwest is the biggest moneymaker in Austin, Texas every year. Businesses down there are terrified of what's going to happen
when you think
to the
about
tourist industry.
So
South by Southwest in the spring and later Fantastic Fest in the fall bring in everybody to the Austin, Texas area.
So many businesses are going to be affected by that. Not just you have the obvious businesses like the movie houses and things like that. Then you've got hotels, restaurants, bars, stores, Uber in the area.
Yeah, it does.
Every single... I don't think it's using hyperbole to say that every single aspect of business life in the Austin area is affected by South by Southwest.
The reason why some people are pissed is because Austin only has 14 cases. This is an enormously low compared to other places, and they're not that many. And if they can get those under control, they might just find a way to move South by Southwest a month. But you've got filmmakers, you've got film companies, you've got major entertainment industries who are pulling out of it. That's ended up why it ended up being canceled.
You've got bands, you've got singers, you've got musicians,
hundreds of
everything.
filmmakers, hundreds of musicians who have planned for a long time, might have busted their budget trying to get there, and now they're out that money. This is not a fun thing to be dealing with.
Not to mention, that's not even mentioning the people that are going to go there just because they like going to South by Southwest.
Yeah, exactly.
Not every airline is going to be like, oh, sure, okay, here's your money back. Here's all of your money back. That's fine. Bye-bye.
The airlines are working with the
a lot of the airlines
around the world.
A lot of the airlines and hotels are actually being very decent about this. But some of those people are not going to be able to get 100% of their money back.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that stinks.
The other thing that I'm going to ask you this out of the blue because I haven't talked to you about it at all.
Okay.
Have you heard any word on your sites and your people about how this could affect the production of the pilot for Walker?
I have not
because
heard
that is
anything.
scheduled to do it this month or next month in Austin.
I have not heard anything yet.
Walker,
about
if
Walker.
you haven't heard, Walker is the reboot of Walker, Texas Ranger that has been picked up by the CW with Jared Padalecki in the title role.
Yes, but there has been, I can say, that there has been a ripple effect, or however you want to word it, with my show and the people. I shouldn't say my show. My favorite show, and
I
the
know
people,
what you mean.
And
check it out, PlatinumRosesGarden.com.
And there will be episodes back next week. I've been sick. Y'all heard that anyway. So there is a con going on right now in Las Vegas. One of the last Supernatural cons, which is so weird.
I think they'll keep having them even after the show ends, at least for a year or two.
But they're going to be hopefully they'll be really busy doing things, you know? Hopefully everyone's going to continue to have careers
honey,
and
it's
stuff.
50 years. People are still coming to the Trek cons.
True. That's true.
Have hope.
Oh, yeah. I have hope. I always have hope. Hope is alive in my bosom. But that...
We didn't really need to know that, did we?
Well, something has
Our faith and charity there, too? Like that Midler?
Well...
Okay, anyway.
Wouldn't that mean I'd have 3? That would be awkward. Anyway.
No, hers hope is her head, and faith and charity are her bosom.
Oh, all right. Anyway, as I mentioned, there is a con going on, and there was a, edict sounds so strict, and I don't mean it to sound that way, but Creation sent out a Creation, who are the people that do the cons.
They still do those?
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, I think it's Creation, or CE or something, I don't remember. Whoever's doing
Entertainment.
whoever are the people running the cons, they sent out a memo, however, that the photo ops that were coming up, they were telling people you can't hug people, you can't touch people, and a lot of people were very upset about that.
It's okay to be upset about it, but still you don't want to do it because of the situation. It's safe.
Like, it's, I mean, I understand being upset, but also the simple fact that when I was at a con and I had my photo op with Jared Padalecki and Misha Collins, my con picture is just me between the two of them as a hug. Not even a hug, just, shoulders, kind of kind of deal. And it was great. It was fabulous.
I mean, you can't really do that either.
No, you can't really do that either. But
not unless you put rubber gloves on.
No, but I think there's been I don't know if rumors is the right word, but there's been whispers about WrestleMania this year.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Just as an aside on the con thing, Bill Shatner posted a tweet this morning, and he's absolutely right. The same kind of edict went out to the Star Trek con. I forget where it is. I think it's in Oregon or someplace, suggesting that instead of shaking hands or hugging, you do the Vulcan salute. And his question was, what if you can't do it? I can't do the Vulcan salute. I've never been able to do it. Oh, show off. I've never been able to do it. And
I can do it with both hands.
Remember that thing about Han Solo earlier that we were talking about? Anyway, I can do it too. Private joke. Anyway, oh, she's in a snit now.
Yes, I am actually.
We
gotta
keep things a little light.
Well, they're telling people, don't shake hands.
But he's right. I can't do the Vulcan salute. A lot of fans can't. And
so
I suggested they bump elbows. That's what they're actually suggesting you do.
I know. They're actually suggesting people do like elbows. To be perfectly honest, I don't shake hands anyway.
Yeah.
I just don't.
And that's a good point. When you're out anywhere, grocery store, theater, restaurant, wash your hands, bring hand sanitizer. It does kill corona. And corona can be killed instantly with pretty much any antiseptic wipe on surfaces.
Yeah. And also,
some idiot suggested cleaning with a combination of bleach and peroxide. Hello, do you know what that causes? Hydrochloric gas. In other words, it would kill you in 2 or 3 seconds.
Well, then you won't have to worry about corona.
Do that.
Also, not for nothing, if you hear somebody cough, do not automatically assume they have corona.
No.
They may just have a cough.
Or a cold, or a flu.
And also, this is just me venting for 2 seconds. People keep bringing up, the people that are really being affected by this are the elderly or people with problems already.
Well, that is true.
It is true,
but not in the ass. Yeah, it's like all it does is kill old people. That's not very nice.
But if you say it a certain way, you're coming off sounding like a complete a-hole. Don't be that person.
Yeah, it is. A lot of the fatalities do seem to be
unfortunately affecting people who have a problem, pre-existing problem, or people who are elderly.
That's one of our fears. We both have pre-existing respiratory problems. I have chronic bronchitis, and you have something else too. The same basic thing, although it's not as severe as mine.
Yeah.
And those can become problems.
Basically, stop making people sound disposable, you elitist.
I don't think that's what they're doing, hon.
Well, I think some of them are.
Khalid has postponed Asian tour dates. Avril Lavigne has postponed Asian tour dates. Green Day has postponed Asian tour dates. Google has canceled its biggest festival in View, California, scheduled for May, which seems a bit early to be worried about that. Facebook also not doing its annual thing. MIP TV, which is not important to most people in America. It is the European TV market's big convention.
Right.
Where they sell programs to other countries.
So it's very important to people in Europe. Yeah.
It was canceled last week. A lot of companies are pulling out. There are also a number, this is the bad thing about the springtime, there are a number of big events around the world that happen every spring in March, April, May, and June.
Yep.
That are partially or directly under the gun because of the coronavirus crisis. The one that is being most worried about in many quarters is the Cannes Film Festival.
Yep.
Cannes is just 30 miles from one of the Italian hot zones. They have already canceled the MIP conference. Now, a new edict from the French government went out on Friday that said avoid these kind of gatherings until May 30th. It's now been revised forward to May 10th. Mm-hmm. Whether or not that's actual or that's because Cannes people are putting pressure on them so they don't have to cancel the festival is not known. But
the thing is, even if they don't cancel the festival, they can't make people go.
No.
Cannes, people might just be like, F this, I'm staying away.
Cannes is the biggest film festival in the world. It is the largest and best known and one of the oldest film festivals in the world. It is the most prestigious film festival in the world. We're rivaled only by Sundance, Venice, and probably Berlinale as true rivals. Maybe Toronto as true rivals and in power. Word is out, although they are continuing to push tickets. There have been rumblings that Tribeca is now in danger. Mm-hmm. Tribeca is happening at the end of April. And Tribeca is New York's biggest film festival every year, sponsored and created by Robert De Niro, and in the aftermath of 9/11, maybe it gets wiped out by another global crisis, who knows. So far, there have been no rumblings about the Boston Springs festivals that we cover canceling.
I haven't heard anything about the Boston Marathon.
But Boston is now in the hot zone. As of Thursday or Friday, when it came out on Thursday afternoon that a gentleman in Nashville had come down with corona after attending an international meeting in Boston last week.
Yeah.
In fact, it was no information was available immediately, and Kim and I, who had been out to the Coolidge Corner on Monday without any problem, decided to skip the tickets we had to see comic Ryan Niemiller in person on Thursday because Laugh Boston is at the Westin Seaport, which is right next door to Boston's new World Trade Center Convention Center.
Yeah.
It turns out the meeting wasn't there. We found out afterward it was at Longworth, Marriott Longworth, down by the aquarium. But I still think we made the right decision because we were worried about the coronavirus.
But we want to stress, we're not saying any hotels were unsafe or anything like
that. No, all the hotels in
us.
every city that's been affected by this are disinfecting like crazy. They're probably safe all the time, even if they found a victim in the hotel.
Yeah, but it's a simple fact that we just...
Not surprisingly, I think the real microcosms of the virus outside of just in general have been cruise ships. There have now been 3 of them that have been massively hit by corona.
Yeah.
So,
and they're stuck. I mean, that's really scary.
Which isn't doing any good because after they evacuated all the ones off the one in Japan, 2 weeks later, some of them came down with it. So it's like,
probably
oh my
because
God.
they'd all been quarantined on the ship with the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of crazy stuff. After Tribeca, which is in April, the next thing that could, well, actually before Tribeca, the next thing that is in danger, possibly in danger, is WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. WrestleMania is the biggest show that World Wrestling Entertainment does every year. It is a 5+ hour long pay-per-view. It is scheduled for Tampa this year, and Tampa has suddenly become a hot spot.
Yeah.
Now, this Vince McMahon is rich enough to survive. Unfortunately, WrestleMania, like so many other of these events that attract other events around it, could end up wiping out a number of indie promotions that are running that same weekend in the Tampa area.
Right.
And a massive wrestling convention called WrestleCon, which has gone on every year around WrestleMania with hundreds of old-time wrestlers there.
Is that in the same area?
It's
or
in
is it
the convention center.
Oh, wow.
Everything.
Again, it's like the South by Southwest thing.
It's exactly what it is.
Every area for the week before WrestleMania, you have people, you have fans, journalists, all kinds of people from all over the world coming to WrestleMania.
WrestleMania and SummerSlam each draw people from usually 50 plus countries around the world, and this is not.
And it's like I said, it's like South by Southwest. The
it's area,
of it, the areas around where the venue is benefit enormously, and if people don't show up, again, it's the same thing like I said with Con. If they decide to have
I don't think it's not going to be so much as they're not showing up. What they're going to have to worry about is whether Tampa city government allows them to play.
Yeah.
Similar to what happened with South by Southwest.
There's also there is a big difference though with WrestleMania as opposed to something like South by Southwest. Now I'm assuming on this one, I'm not entirely sure. Mm-hmm. With something like WrestleMania, you have people with families. You have people bringing their kids to see, all the WWE performers. That's not happening as much at South by Southwest.
No, that's mostly older.
So now you're going to have parents thinking, do we want...
Yeah. Well, that's also going to affect, when it comes to Tampa, that's also going to affect the major theme parks in the country.
Right. Oh, definitely.
Especially in Florida there.
Yeah.
And when it comes to WrestleMania, we want to stress here, as of this time, there have been no cancellations of scheduled live events by either WWE or AEW, their new rival. They are still planning to continue. We still have tickets for the AEW show here in Boston in April. It's going to be...
come look for us.
If we don't get canceled or if it doesn't hit. Because if it hits, we ain't going.
Yeah,
we got insurance on the tickets, so we're not going to lose it.
But if it does happen,
we do want to stress there's no plans to cancel any episodes of Raw, SmackDown, or NXT, which are shot every week, and NXT is based down there in Florida, and everything is it's
we
all
don't
in
want
flux.
anything to get canceled.
Yeah.
But we want people to be safe.
We want you to be aware. That's what I'm saying. Be precautious, not paranoid.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out. The next event that could be affected, back to Europe, and Eurovision. Eurovision is scheduled to happen the second week in May. Their first big meeting is this Monday. As we're speaking, that would be March 7th, 8th, 9th, something like that. Four of the countries have already said they're not coming. One of them will attend by Skype or whatever. This is not the musicians. This is the committees from each country meeting to decide.
We haven't even got that far yet with the musicians. We're just committee.
Yeah, all the performances and songs will be selected by the end of this coming week.
Right.
It's an annual tradition which they have never had to miss.
Never?
Never.
Wow.
Since it started in 1957 or 56, I forget which, and it could put Eurovision on high alert. As we said, there's already the reason that these countries aren't going in, and the EBU who runs it are not coming in for the meeting. They're going to do theirs by Skype too,
right?
Because people in the EBU and in this one country have come down with coronavirus. So they're trying to, I think, not as much as to keep them, get it taken care of, but also not to expose everybody else.
Right.
So I'll be covering Eurovision as I always do here on eCinema One and on the Kirkland Report and Planet Biblia Musica probably around the first part of April, and we'll have all the songs and stuff as we do it. But we'll keep you up to date on the news on the site.
There's so many things. There's and everybody's got to have their own feeling on things. There's so many things that are still going on. Baseball games, football games, basketball games, all kinds of stuff.
Well, overseas, a lot of the soccer games and stuff are being played only by the teams.
Right.
And here in America, one of the XFL teams, which another Vince McMahon
Seattle
thing, has gotten hit with the coronavirus outbreak. It's probably the Seattle team.
Yeah, what I read was that it was a person who worked at the arena where the XFL plays out of in Seattle.
See, I worry about that for another reason entirely.
I know.
I don't know if you guys have followed us over the last few months, but I am a huge fan of AGT finalist Benicio Bryant. He is from Maple Valley, Washington, which is just one city above Kirkland. And he is doing concerts now, and his father works for the Seattle Seahawks, which also makes me wonder. He's the team chef.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly trying to keep up on what Benny's doing. They've been in Florida the last 2 weeks in Tampa.
Yeah.
Not a good thing either. So I'm watching that and getting paranoid about that because I don't want the poor kid to have his career.
Well, you just said you could be caught. You have to be prepared, not paranoid. Yeah. And I would also like to bring up, prepared does not mean going to your local store and grabbing everything you can and, stockpiling toilet paper or whatever. Or, you
should prepare logically.
Prepare
going
rationally.
to the warehouse store and grabbing a few extra large items and having them in case you need them is great. Don't cause a run on the stores.
No, don't do that.
Because that's not going to help.
No, because I hate to be the one to tell you this, but hoarding 2-ply is not going to protect you from the virus or any virus. No, to be honest with you, I mean. I'm not
never heard of it described that way before.
I'm not trying to sound like I'm being flip or cruel
no, you're not.
Or unfeeling, because I feel really badly. I feel really badly for people whose families have been affected by this, who have lost family members. I feel really badly. Mm-hmm. But can we also take into account that, we all have to try and continue and function and... See, that was the thing.
That's even the Boston doctors, and that's what's bugging me about the media handling this. Mm-hmm. I mean, I said this in a blog that I didn't post last week because I didn't feel comfortable posting it yet. The news media have taken the paranoid approach to this virus. CBS News in particular is guilty of this, but it's happening all over. Even though... CBS Morning News is leading with this stuff every day, just like they lead with horrible weather events that are actually, very minutely concentrated, not the whole country, like they make it seem. And it's ridiculous. You have to have perspective on what's happening. Remember to keep perspective, because doctors in Boston, a whole slew of them, got angry with the CDC. Oh, it's going to be blah, 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 and do this and that, and there's going to be all these huge outbreaks. And the Boston doctors are going, don't scare people.
My doctor said that.
Listen.
My doctor said that. I was talking with my doctor, and I was saying...
Be cautious and alert.
Yeah.
Don't be paranoid. Go about your regular day business.
Yeah. I was talking with my doctor about it, and I was just saying it in kind of there's this big, this is before it even came to America. Mm-hmm. And I had been talking with my doctor, and I said something about, this big disease, and we're all going to, blah, blah,
yep.
blah. And he looked at me, and he was like, that's the media. That's the media scaring people.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Remember, the internet is there, and if you want full information, the CDC, Center for Disease Control, and the World Health Organization will give you the raw numbers. Mm-hmm. Don't look for info on the various network websites or on Fox or on CNN or MSNBC, because they are all blowing it out of proportion.
The dumb thing is, all of the stuff that they're telling people to do, wash your hands, use...
It's all practical, everyday
stuff. It's all stuff you should be doing anyway.
Right.
Not... I'll you know what? I tell a lie. I don't think everybody has to completely dunk themselves in Purell every time you walk out your house.
No, you don't need to. Just wash your hands on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Use when you're not where you can't wash your hands. Use the even though they're telling you not to use it now they're telling you to use the Purell and stuff because it's going to create a superbug, but it'll also kill they've already confirmed it kills corona.
Yeah.
So don't. Keep a tube of Purell or some other local brand of the sanitizer.
They actually had to talk. Some tequila company had to put a statement out. Don't use our product to try and kill corona.
Yeah, I was.
What?
That all stemmed from an absolutely asinine post coming from a supposed news organization. CNN Headline News, who put out a tweet saying that people were not drinking Corona because of the coronavirus. That's not what the study said. That's just what they used for their clickbait. When you actually click through, it said people don't drink Corona for the various reasons. The virus is not mentioned anywhere in the press release. And it's like, what kind of journalism is that?
I mean, I don't drink...
My God, I thought these people were news people.
I don't drink Corona. I don't drink Corona because I don't like the taste of beer.
I mean, when CNN started, it was a serious news organization, and I'm sorry, Ted Turner must be sitting in Montana thinking, my God, what has my creation become when they do stuff like this? Because it's just outrageous.
Well, you know...
That's like what is his name? The one that I can't stand. Don Lemon suggesting a wormhole took the flight from the Malaysia Airlines. I was like, oh my God, I haven't taken CNN seriously since then. They're absolutely worthless as a news organization.
Well, at least they haven't had people walk off the air. I mean...
Well, yeah, but Chris Matthews kind of had that, was expected to after the comments about Hitler and Sanders a few weeks ago. Let's get back to how this is going to be affecting it in the future. In addition
we
to
don't
these
know.
Early, yeah,
I mean,
in addition to these early things, Boston's stuff, WrestleMania, Eurovision, and Cannes, there are things in the late summer that also could be affected. Most notably, perhaps, is the Venice Film Festival. Venice is right now at the center of the coronavirus outbreak in Italy. Yeah. Venice usually happens the second or third week in August, and is the second most important film festival in Europe, behind Cannes. What are you thinking of?
Oh gosh, I just thought of something else.
What's that?
Oh my gosh.
What?
Sorry, I'm completely not entertainment wise, so I don't know if you're going to want me to bring it up.
Speak up.
This is Lent.
Right.
What does Lent lead to?
Easter.
What happens at Easter? Whole bunch of people go to Vatican City.
Yeah, well, actually, Vatican City is they've already confirmed that the Pope's illness is not coronavirus. He's had a cold for a few couple weeks. Yeah. And they are actually taking steps about Holy Week and Holy Time. Yeah. To help prevent the corona spreading there. Yeah. Because it is also right in the heart of the outbreak right now.
Oh yeah. Just thought of that.
Venice is an important film festival too. And it leads to Toronto in September. But there's also this year something else that happens every 4 years in the summertime, the Tokyo Summer Olympics. Yeah. Presently, they are scheduled for, I think, late July. And they have said they have looked at stuff right now. They had, a couple weeks ago, they were looking at, whether they'd need to cancel it. Now they say they think they can do it, but Tokyo has been a hotbed for the virus so far. And so they're not as bad as what's happened in China, but they've had quite a few cases in Japan.
A lot of cases.
And so hopefully...
And can we also bring up that not everyone who gets this virus dies from it?
Oh, we know that. We said that already. We've already talked about that. The Olympics are...
I mean, it's not good and it's not fun.
Postponable, if necessary. They can postpone them till later in the fall, which has been done before. But
should have done with the Winter Olympics.
Winter Olympics, you can't do that with because you need snow. Summer Olympics,
someone should have thought of that when they decided to go to Sochi.
Yeah, summer you don't need to be. You could actually have the Summer Olympics in the wintertime because most of those events could be done on the inside, except for maybe the biathlon stuff.
True.
But in any case, that's just another event that could be affected by it.
It's something else. That,
Our point is this is. Everybody, a lot of people, I mean, you gotta admit, this thing has people on Twitter, movie fans on Twitter, talking about various virus-related movies. Yeah. Like Outbreak, Virus itself, a god-awful Japanese film from 1980, and Contagion, a few other things.
Hold up. I would like to say people like you are talking about this stuff on Twitter.
No, it's all over. All over. The film Twitter is all over it. These are fictional. Don't forget that. They're not reality. Don't. Of course, then
that gets us into what is reality, and that's a whole.
For God's sake, don't make yourself paranoid by watching.
Don't make yourself paranoid. Don't make For another thing, you don't want to make yourself paranoid or sick or anything like that, because when you get sick and when you get stressed, that's when you get sick. Yeah. So, I'm not saying that we can all walk around like duckies and bunnies and, baby deer and stuff, but,
you can. Go about your daily life, but keep it aware. Watch for people. Don't let them cough on you. Don't get mad when they
Do
cough.
you usually let people cough on you? It's
You
just
do not need a mask unless you are sick. The masks will not help you, prevent you from getting it. Mm-hmm. So don't go out and buy masks because it takes away from people that need them.
Yeah.
And keep yourself clean and know what's going on. Don't get paranoid.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to change topics now.
Well, we're over here now. Woo!
That's our main show. Let's talk about what we did Monday.
Yay!
Monday night, March 9th? No.
No.
What am I looking at? March 2nd. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the calendar wrong. Excuse me.
Short-term memory is the first thing to go.
It's March 8th, not March 6th.
Apparently looking at calendars is the first thing to go.
For Pete's sake. Monday night, we went out to the Coolidge Corner in Brookline to see the 2020 Cat Video Fest. We missed the first one because we were both sick.
Yeah.
We had the tickets and we had to blow them off. And as always, previous years it's been at the Kendall Square.
Yeah.
And it's been about half full. Mm-hmm. This year we went to the Coolidge to see it, and it was almost packed.
Yes, it was.
It was scary.
Yeah. Before we went, though, I would like to bring up, we had some time, and we were both hungry. So we went to the Upper Crust, which is almost literally right next door to the theater. Mm-hmm. And the people there were super nice.
It's not almost. It is literally right next door to the theater.
And the people there were super nice and friendly, and the pizza was amazing. So go there and tell them.
It was good, and she brought that up because they've had some terrible Yelp reviews lately.
Yeah, which
they've always been good.
I don't know why they do, because we had
the pizza was delicious.
Pizza was so good, and they were really, really nice. So go there and tell them Subject Cinema will send you, and it will do you no good. But other than people will know that you listen to our show. So we went to the Cat Festival. I was happy to see there were quite a lot of families. That made me happy.
Yeah, there were a lot of kids
to see a
there
lot
having
of
fun.
People with their children, because the children were all excited to see all the cats.
Now, why is this a big thing every year? Because the cats rule the internet.
Because cats are awesome.
Because cats rule the internet. Yeah. Everybody knows cats own the interwebs.
Yep.
And cat videos were a thing before YouTube even took off.
Yeah.
So it was interesting.
Yeah.
And this festival is
This festival is so much fun. If you know someone
for the most part, we both ended up bawling at one
We
segment.
both ended up crying, but I cry at everything.
Yeah.
And, occasionally I get into, I really, really want a cat mode. And,
occasionally?
All right, always.
Yes.
But there was just this one cat that was just so little and sweet and fluffy, and I was just like...
That's not the one I was talking about.
Which one
I
were
was
you
talking about the cat on the street.
Yes, that's one.
That's what got to me.
Yeah, that got to me too. There was they're all short films, and when we mean short, we mean short. Some of them are like videos that are only like 10 seconds long.
Yeah.
This one was a longer one. It was from It was a Cinema Verite style, I think is.
Yeah, and I've forgotten the site that put it up. Unfortunately,
about a man who found a cat on the street. And was able to bring the cat home.
He does this for a living.
Yeah, and he brought the cat home and cared for it, and the cat recovered because it had all kinds of parasites. It had all kinds of
fostered to, and
it's now in a forever home with a family that loves it. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, this is not going to come off nice. I know I shouldn't say things like this during Lent.
We both want to hurt the people that let this cat out because it was clearly abandoned.
Yeah, someone abandoned this cat. This wasn't a feral cat that was raised wild or anything like that.
You want to see me go completely gonzo bug shit? It's when I watched The Pet Psychic a few years ago on Animal Planet.
This was a house cat, and it wasn't a lost cat. You can tell a cat that's been lost.
It was clearly abandoned.
It was abandoned. Whoever abandoned that cat, someone should throw you in the deepest, darkest pit on this planet, and you should rot in it.
Mm. Yeah, I'll agree with that sentiment.
You want to see me go from 0 to rage monster in 5 seconds? Hurt an animal, and I will do things that would make Eli Roth turn white.
Bugs don't count.
Well, some bugs do.
Some bugs do.
If somebody mashed a butterfly, I'd be like, dude, what is wrong with you?
Bugs don't count mostly, because we have bugs here sometimes, and they're creepy. And
well, it depends.
Yeah. Anyway,
but
it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. We got to see another one of the videos from Le Chat Noir, which I thought we'd seen all of those.
Yeah, Le Chat Henri is one of my favorites. It was on one of our 5 and 10. videos
Yeah.
list. And they're still up on YouTube. There's 10 of them or 12 of them. He's
I
retired.
don't remember that one.
I don't remember that one either. They're always funny.
They are hilarious.
They had a wonderful tribute to Little Bub, who passed away last year.
Yes, they did.
Nothing for Grumpy Cat, which surprised me. I'm not sure when Grumpy Cat passed away, but they should have had something for Tartar Sauce.
I think it was after Lil Bub passed away.
It might have been after this year's fest was already in production.
I'm not
so we
sure.
may get it next year, but
and of course, there were funny videos and cute videos and the Simon's Cat, which is always awesome. We've talked about Simon's Cat before. We love Simon's Cat. We do. We actually have a plushie somewhere around here.
Oh my God, we do somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to it. It's in a box somewhere.
Still need to get a Lucas the Spider plushie, but or we don't.
No, if you want to, I can handle Lucas.
No, that's okay, because I'll wind up using it like for April Fools, and then you'll like braid me. So that's
More than likely, I'll rip it to shreds. So anyway, back to the Cat Festival. Oh my gosh,
it's fantastic, and all of the money for it goes to a charity for cats.
Several.
Which is great.
It is distributed by Oscilloscope Pictures, guys at Oscilloscope who I've talked with over the years for screeners and stuff, and I'm a member of the Circle of Trust, which is their mail order automatic movie deliveries, DVD delivery thing.
Yeah.
Thank you for supporting
Very
this
much.
wonderful cat festival and for making it lots of fun. And for always bringing
because
it
I
to
don't
a wide audience.
I never understand people who say, "Oh, cats are cold, cats are aloof."
Some
blah,
can
blah.
be, but most of them are not.
Well, some people are cold and aloof, but nobody goes around and pisses on them for it. And I'm sorry, every cat that has ever owned me, because you don't own a cat.
No.
The cat owns you.
Dogs have owners, cats have staff.
That's true. Every cat that I've ever been owned by has been warm and loving and affectionate and my best friend at the time. And I miss all of them dearly. All the cats that have been part of my life, I miss them.
Just briefly,
and the dogs
they
too.
weren't included in this year's Cat Festival, but there is a great new YouTube channel called Kittysaurus that I have fallen head over heels in love with. They've only been up for about 4 months. They've
I
got
like
a million
them
plus.
too, but I'm scared of them.
I believe it's either in Japan or Korea. It's two or three
somewhere
Asian women
overseas,
who have a house full of cats, all cat-themed house.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a corporate thing.
They have a cat house.
And the cat,
Ching.
What do they call it? The Rising Sun?
Whoa, okay.
Anyway,
all right, anyway, moving on.
In any case.
And they have, I think, 7?
Oh, they got
7?
more than that. I think they got like 11 or 12.
They don't.
Yeah,
do
they do. There's quite a few.
They have the cats are all beautiful.
They're slowly introducing the cats. There's 3 bios
by names, and they're but
I love Lulu, who is this little munchkin cross between something else and
he's
a munchkin.
munchkin and something else,
and she's adorable.
But the things they put these poor cats through,
yeah.
they're not
it's
terrible.
nothing like the psychological test that Mugu Mogu has been using on Maru and Hannah.
They're not terrible things. They're just
there was
weird
no Maru
things.
in this year's festival too.
No,
it was
I know.
Really weird.
I mean, they've had these cats where one of the women is dressed up like Darth Vader and she's like lightsaber fighting
That's
them. And
one of them. They've also dressed up like a dinosaur. King Kong. You got to see it.
And the cat's reaction. Most of the time, there's at least one in every video that the cat's looking in the camera like,
Kitty Saurus.
Yeah.
Just look it up on YouTube.
It's really, it's funny,
really
but you do have to go, what is wrong with these people?
That leads me into another discussion.
Oh, good.
Discussion for you guys and for us. Mm-hmm. I've been getting back into wrestling over the last few months. Kim's responsible for that.
Yay!
No, actually, Kim was responsible for us buying the AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view last summer.
Yep.
Because she was so hot on that Fed, and that Fed and that show hooked us on the talents of one Marco Stunt.
Yep.
Marco is a member, the only pro wrestler to ever make the PNR Cinema 1 Rising Stars Honors list. Mm-hmm. And in addition to being a hit on AEW every week, and also on Chris Jericho's annual Wrestling Jericho's cruise. He has also found out that Marco is also a singer and songwriter.
Yeah, wicked talented, too.
He has written a song, I believe he wrote it, I don't know, working with Mikey Ruckus, who runs the music for AEW.
Hi, Mikey.
Marco's first single is out. It's called All My Friends. You can get it on SoundCloud.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very, he's a very AAA-ish singer-songwriter type, very slow, all acoustic-based, and really good.
He
I will
is.
have a link up to it in the show notes. And along that lines, though, I also wanted to bring up something else. Mm-hmm. I've been going on Twitter the last few weeks, really going crazy on some of the AEW guys. And I got into it with the leader of the so-called Dark Order. His name is Evil Uno. Hi! I've been pissing on his Dark Order crap every time he posts something. Dark Order is a heel faction, if you don't know. And
well, did you really think with a name like Dark Order they were going to be anything else?
You never know. They might just like dark colors. Who knows? Anyway, and all my hashtags were first started off as ignore Dark Order. Now it's delete Dark Order because Matt Hardy is rumored to be coming in as the Exalted One.
Rumors.
Not going to. He will be in AEW, but I don't think he's going to be I don't think he's going to be the Exalted One. So I was bad mouthing him yesterday, and we were bad mouthing each other, and he shot back a photo snap of the PNRNetworks Patron Circle list. Mm-hmm. Which shows us at 0 members. And I was like, whoa, thanks for the plug, dude! Because I really couldn't ask for a better plug. It means it went out to hundreds of more people than what would have seen it otherwise.
Yeah.
But he has a point. Here we are, we've been pleading for Patreon for the last year. Really getting off since we have adjusted it to where it's only $5 a month. And we have yet to have any takers. It's a little disheartening, guys. We work hard. We know we've been sick. We've been out of it for the last month. But we can't do everything we'd really love to do for you without some support. And Patron Circle is the best way to do it. It's $5 a month. You won't even miss it. It's the cost of a latte in most places. You just sign up once. It comes out on the 1st of every month. And you get extra extra stuff on Patreon itself. It does cost us quite a bit of money to keep going on this stuff. Mm-hmm. We put tons of our own money into it because we love doing it, but we could really use your support. And it's very disheartening to never hear from you. We don't hear from anybody anymore. And just a quick, shout out on Twitter or Facebook or email at subject sentiment popcornletterandroses.com. Yeah. No, that's wrong. Subject sentiment at PNRNetworks.com. That's our old address.
Because we want to know what you want. Yeah. And we want to be able to give you what you'd like. If you have a specific movie you'd like us to review or something that you'd like us to talk about, by all means, send it to us. And we'd like to be able to give you the kind of product that you'd like to listen to or tell your friends about, And even if you don't agree with us about something, if we said that we think some movie was great and you thought it sucked, write to us and tell us why you thought it sucked. Or if there's a movie that we were like, oh, that was awful, and you think, hey, that movie was great, and this is why I think it was great, write to us, and if we see it again, we might actually be like, hey, you know what? So-and-so was right. There are things about this movie I didn't see before, and because so-and-so brought that up, I've changed my mind.
My biggest question is this, and this is what kind of gets to me sometimes. I checked our stats. Mm-hmm. Our last full show had roughly 900 and some downloads over the course of the first week. If we have 900 listeners out there, we're very grateful for you. And we want to say that. But it's very frustrating because, you guys are downloading the show and you're listening, and that's great. But you're not telling us what you want to see. You're not telling us what we're doing, not telling us how we're doing. And you're obviously more interested in getting a free podcast than it is to get a pay $5 a month help out. Even though you get like all these extras and stuff, plus all you're supporting like 7 or 8 podcasts, 10 podcasts, 12 podcasts, and all these websites. And if every one of those 900 people, if just 10% of them, 90 people signed up for the Patron Circle, we'd, of course, love to have a lot more. But that 90 people would make a big difference to what we are able to do. That's $5 times 900. That's a lot. Or 90. That's a lot of That's a lot of cake added to our expenses. It would help us pay off our expenses at least every month without having to dip into our other funds.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been doing this for 15 years this year. And it's a lot of fun, and we're never going to stop doing it, probably.
No, hopefully not.
But it would be nice to know if you guys were out there, and it would be nice to know that you guys are supportive of the show and could think of us, enough of us, to sign up for that $5 a month Patron Circle. And mostly, and even most important now, a month from now, I would be able to take a screenshot of that picture and shoot it to Evil Ono and go, come on, you want to make me be able to do that, don't you?
Yeah.
Please join Patron Circle. Go over to patreon.com/PNRNetworks. That's patreon.com/PNRNetworks. And help us kick Evil Uno right in the crotch where he deserves.
What he said. Okay.
I think that's it for this week. We've scared everybody.
Yeah, I'm pretty
more
sure
than one thing. And
we don't mean to scare anyone. We really hope we haven't scared you, because that seems to be the thing that everybody else is doing.
We're trying to be straightforward about how we're looking at it. And even, as we said, even we have been taking sometimes overly cautious moves.
Yeah.
But, we both have a reason to. As I said, we both have chronic bronchitis, and it's a little stuff going on. We're worried about because it's a respiratory-based infection, and we don't want to catch it. And we promise that we will try to be here every week as we can from now on. We'll get the February festival stuff up in April, if all goes well. We have a bunch more film festivals starting in March. That will be part of our May actual Boston Springs the Festival series, provided, we have the chance to get everything together. We have a lot of... I'm a little disappointed because Underground announced their lineup this week, and I was so hoping Worm would be on there.
I know you were.
Worm is Theo Taplitz's new film, and it's not on the list. So now we got to hope for either Wicked Queer, which I doubt, or IFFB later in April.
We might have a better chance with IFFB, to be honest with you.
I don't know. There's all kinds of different things going on, and you never know. And hopefully, I actually just chatted with Theo over the weekend via email. He's working full time on his music right now, and just put up a great off-kilter music video that he wrote the song, did the video himself, edited himself, everything. Theo's king of the world. It's called Monkey Man, and you can get it on his Vimeo page. I'll have a link up if you want to take a look at it.
And hopefully you can
very
check out...
Beatles-esque and very, very interesting.
And hopefully you'll check out our website to check out all of the other podcasts that we have.
Yep, we do. We have the 3-Minute Weekend and Tuesday Digitex, the first of which I missed the first time in 5 or 6 years since it started. They're available at ecinema1.com or on our various wonderful podcast outlets, and it is also our only show that is available on Spotify. You will be back. You have been sick this whole hiatus for Supernatural.
I know.
You have 2 shows from the previous that you haven't done yet. You're going to do next weekend as the show gets ready to come back.
And then Supernatural will be returning the Monday after this Monday. They're coming back at a new time on Mondays for the last 2 months of the 15th season, which is the last season of the show. And I also have...
managed through that without crying?
One door closes, another door opens. And this season has been a little bit distressing for me.
I know.
As a person of faith.
That's at PlatinumRosesGarden.com.
# not my God.
You can also watch her, or listen to her rather, on her exquisitely funny wrestling podcast, Ring Around the Rosie, at ringaroundtherosie.net. It's normally on... You're doing it on Thursday now, right?
Normally I'm going to be doing it on Thursday.
This week it's going to be tomorrow, Monday.
I'll be recording it Monday with reviews of 3 pay-per-views. And it's going to be, the usual lunacy. I would like to bring up, neither of those shows are safe for work.
Yeah.
Because... Well, actually, right now they are safe for work because I gave up cursing for Lent, and
this is going to be fun.
Yeah,
a completely curse-free Ring Around the Rosie.
So there's a lot of beeping and and word substitutions, and that's not easy. So pray for me.
Don't miss Kim's ASMR
What's
roleplay
more
stuff
roleplay
either.
stuff, yeah.
It's a Platinum Rose roleplay on YouTube. She's got several up now. She's got plenty of ideas she hasn't been able to do because she's been sick, but she'll have a lot more coming in the near future.
Yeah, and TC has some great solo shows as well.
I don't.
Or he doesn't.
Catastrophe Vortex has still not got back up. I'm aiming...
Well, you have some that you've done. People can listen to
I do. There are older episodes out there,
Yeah.
but there are the new shows, the revamped show. I have the entire list of the first 15 shows we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had a chance to do them. And I will probably get them done while I am off work next week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping to launch them in April.
Yep.
But we will be seeing reviews at that time of the Towering Inferno, of the Quake, of Geostorm, even though I have yet to sit through it, and I've heard it is absolutely terrible.
Yeah, you're sitting through that one alone, Puddin'. I'm not watching that.
I wouldn't ask you to watch
Gerard
it.
Butler and no Gerard Butler. There's a point.
And a number of other things. It's all disaster movies all the time. CatastropheVortex.com.
Mm-hmm.
We will have continuing coverage of the Eurovision Film Festival on thekirklandreport.com and planetbibliomusical.com starting in early April. We'll bring you and I will keep you up to date also on eCinema 1 as well with the any coronavirus affected stuff that happens with Eurovision.
Mm-hmm.
We will also be introducing some new columns over the next few weeks on eCinema 1. I'm going to get back into wrestling writing. I'm going to get into other stuff. I'm working on I was going to make it a whole blog, but I think it's actually going to be a part of eCinema 1. A new Star Trek oriented project that I'm going to go into, and that has been triggered by the absolutely incredible Star Trek Picard. If you haven't seen it yet, get CBS All Access. It alone is worth the money. Fantastic show. Mm-hmm. She still hasn't watched it.
I have to sit down and binge it, I know.
Yeah, because I'm up to episode 7. There's only 3 more episodes this season.
Yes, I'm aware. Thank you.
It's fantastic. And so, we'll have other stuff going on.
Yeah.
And as we said earlier, I'm at Platinum. No, I'm not a Platinum Roselle.
You're not.
You're at Platinum Roselle on Twitter. I'm at eCinema 1 on Twitter. Mm-hmm. I'm also on eCinema Boston and TKR online, but I'm mostly operating right now on eCinema 1. Mm-hmm. So you keep up with that. And you can visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/popcorn and roses. That hasn't changed. And
if you'd like to drop either of us an email,
drop us an email?
Yeah, platinumroselle@yahoo.com.
And subject cinema at PNRNetworks.com.
Yeah.
And you can also drop us, some advice, some friendly word of, friendly
money,
kind words saying
whatever.
how that, and Patron Circle.
Yeah.
At patreon.com/PNRNetwork.
It doesn't even be movie
Come
stuff.
on
You
out.
can just,
Help me shove that right straight up Evil Ono's nose.
Okay.
Anyway. Until next time, for Subject Cinema, I'm T.C. Kirkham.
I'm Kim Brown.
May your popcorn always be buttered.
And may your roses always be in bloom.
Masochistic March awaits next week.
Yay.
You have been listening to Subject Cinema with hosts T.C. Kirkham and Kim Brown. Subject Cinema is produced by PNR Networks, Boston, Massachusetts, which is solely responsible for its content. Subject Cinema is copyright 2020 by PNR Networks under a Creative Commons license. Check out a new episode of Subject Cinema every weekend. Until next time, this is Bob Taylor for Subject Cinema, and we'll see you at the movies.
Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.
15 years. Blowing the doors off the competition. Podcasting to planet Earth.
PNRNetworks.com.